vengeance. 3 hours later.
What do you call a cow that's in the shape of the 22nd letter of the alphabet?
What?
A movie. So that was a movie. The Riddler gives many complex riddles like this throughout the movie. And we're going to discuss the Batman.
Let's. I thought that was a hell of a movie. I'm not gonna lie. And I was holding on to that piece of tape for the last half an hour.
Where were you keeping that?
I had it in this pocket. 2 fingers on the piece of tape, just waiting to rip it. The tape and the riddle.
I feel like I'm there.
Tape and the riddle. You want to have something that involves tapes and riddles. If it just happens to feature the Batman, then great. First, we're going to just kind of generally talk about what we thought of the movie as a whole and not really spoil anything. Everybody hopefully experience it for the first time in the theater.
I thought it was honestly excellent. There are flaws in it, but it was 3 hours, and I don't really think there's much fat to trim. I thought it was all pretty compelling, and I thought it was really well made and atmospheric, and it was the kind of movie I want to see. It was dark and grim, and I just really dug it.
I love this movie so much. Let me say, it's top 5 and it's not 5. It is, it's pretty great. From the beginning, I think my mouth was agape, and then I was like, oh, it's going to be open for 3 hours. And I was like, I better get something to close this jaw and all this stuff. It was a big
Maybe
deal.
some tape.
But no, I think Arpat killed it, and Matt Reeves killed it, and whoever filmed it killed it. It was beautiful.
I think everybody out there can agree that it looks absolutely phenomenal in the cinematography and everything.
What they did?
Great.
It's filmed by Greg Fraser,
I knew that.
filmed Dune.
I heard he's pretty good.
Matt Reeves is too. He did the last 2 Planet of the Apes movies, and I thought he did something really interesting with those, and that he took something like Planet of the Apes and he managed to ground it in this reality that I found really compelling, particularly the 3rd one. He did the same thing here. Robert Pattinson is the 6th Batman. So we can't say it's totally necessary, but then you see the movie and it does justify its existence, I think.
I came into this movie not having crazy expectations about a month ago, and then once the movie started coming out and the hype started coming, I kind of got myself to be like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be a 10 out of 10 movie like No Time to Die was for me and Spider-Man and No Way Home was for me. One of those kind of blockbusters, because I heard it had like bigger ideals involved and stuff. So I came into it with that, and then also took note of the fact that it's 2 hours and 55 minutes long. And initially I was kind of like, I don't know. But then the 3rd act happens, and the 3rd act is pretty damn awesome. So overall, I definitely enjoyed this movie. The score, while it's maybe not the best Batman score, because we've had so many great ones, it's still a really good score for a movie. Michael Giacchino has worked on a lot of movies that have really good scores before, and he does it again by working on this. Everything is so atmospheric. It's easily immersible, where you're automatically in the movie just by being there. And while it is a 3-hour movie and you can kind of feel your butt sometimes, you really are in the movie. And it really shows when you walk out of the theater and you're just kind of looking around at the cars in the parking lot, noticing highways again, and you just kind of still got a rush in the back of your brain where it's like, I got to drive this Batmobile like 200 miles an hour to escape the penguin.
That's awesome.
It's just,
That's the best scene in my opinion.
You're kind of lurking around every corner of the theater when you're coming out, and you're just like, is there somebody in the shadows over here? And that's just kind of testament to how good the movie is in those aspects. And it's good in other aspects too. But I did find a couple issues with it in terms of a certain character is kind of a bulk of the narrative for the middle part, and I could not give a crap about this character. It ended up making sense at the end where it ties back into the character I did care about. But at the same time, that is a bulk of the middle where I'm just like, just come on, just get me to the good stuff that I want to see.
All the Batmans are so distinctly different, and even the Gothams are just so distinctly different that I feel like for this movie, for the Batman, if you were waiting for this type of Batman, then you might think that this is the greatest one. And I'm not going to say it's the greatest one, because I don't think it is either. But I'm just saying, I can see where other people are like, this is what I've been waiting for, and they're like, this is the best one.
It's weird that for a Batman movie, there's not that much action in it. I feel like it's more of him solving the riddles, and it's more tension. So when there is action, I thought it was great.
I think that the action set pieces are pretty incredible. Through most of them, my jaw was agape, and I was like staring up at the screen, but I was also looking around like, is everyone else loving this as much as I am?
I know. There was one in particular. It might be the scene most people talk about, or the sequence, but I seriously, my jaw just went.
You couldn't even control it.
In terms of just the way it's shot and everything, and how great it looks and how good it feels to be in this scene, yeah, it's easily top 5 action scene in a Batman movie for me.
If I have a gripe, I could do without the Nirvana. Oh, God, gross. You hear it twice. Oh, God.
I liked it.
I know.
Dull.
I get it, and it's all angsty, and Arpat's got on eyeliner, and he's got that hair. It's fine. I just, no.
In terms of the performances in the movie, I thought Robert Pattinson did a really good job, but also I could see people coming out of this and being like, well, he didn't really do much. But, like, that is also the point of it, the way that they're telling the story, the point of it is that he doesn't really do much and kind of just stays back and it kind of investigates. He doesn't say too much vocally, but I think that's why his performance was, like, really good.
I feel like in the movie he does a lot with a little, and I think that's the difference, because a lot of his acting is him acting from the cheekbones up, and he's acting with just his eyes, and it works. And he's telling the story like through that, and you can understand what's going on.
There's not much Bruce Wayne. It's mostly just him as Batman, and I find that interesting. I've never read a comic book in my life. Sorry, but I just imagine that this might be the closest they've come to the original concept. Because he is called the world's greatest detective, and he's doing a lot of detective work here.
Zoe Kravitz played Catwoman, and I thought she did a very serviceable job. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it does give you a nice thing for Batman to bounce off of, and kind of conflicting ideas and stuff, and kind of interesting scenes in terms of will they, won't they stuff.
Yeah.
I liked her too. I mean, some of her dialogue I was like, but I mean, she does have the sex appeal thing going. She's got the pink wig, thick ass, give him whiplash, you know.
I agree. Taylor Swift agrees too. So that's a hell of an enjoyment.
That was her review.
Paul Dano in this movie gives a really good performance.
The dude is having a hell of a time.
I don't think he's ever had this much fun. He is totally bananas in it, and it's a delight. I was like laughing because I was like, this is nuts.
Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, and yes, that is Colin Farrell.
He gave my favorite performance.
He is having such a fun time, and listening to him do that accent with all that giant fat on his face.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
I could not believe that was him. I was like, where the hell is he in there? And that voice, too? He's an Irish guy.
Yeah.
How the hell did he do that? Oscar-worthy prosthetics.
Overall, I give the movie an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very solid Batman movie. I didn't think it compared equally to Nolan's or Batman 89 or Batman Returns for me personally. But also, I know that I've only seen it for a day. There's only been a day for me to germinate on it and to listen to other people's takes and kind of gather information and decide what I think. And when we end up diving into the spoilers and stuff, I feel like I will have a lot going on in my brain, and my rating might change. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, right now I'm going to prove it with an 8 out of 10. Definitely think it's worth a watch.
I'm going with a 9, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked everything that it was going for, and honestly, the more I see it, the more I imagine the admiration will strengthen. I think it's really well done, and I think more blockbusters should try to be like it, frankly. I don't know. Maybe not in the 3-hour side of things.
On the 3-hour side of things, I loved it, and I give it a 10 out of 10. I had so much fun the entire time I was watching it. Like, even from the very beginning to the very end. I mean, I've also only had a day to germinate on it. It hasn't reached the 11 yet, so it's just going to sit at a 10 for right now, but I thought it was incredible.
The Batman in theaters by the time you watch this video, but also it's coming to HBO Max in
soon.
Like 40 days, I believe.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Either you go out and see it and have a grand old time.
But you really should.
Yeah.
The music. Oh,
Yeah.
watch it in the theater.
engulfing yourself for 3 hours and just immersing yourself in the world, or you can wait 40 days and watch it on HBO Max, and you can pause it. Stay tuned. If you see the movie, you can click on our video where we don't really care what we spoil. If you've seen the movie, click on that video and kind of listen to it on your drive home from the movie, whatever you want to do. That's what I like to do after I see a movie. We'll be posting that soon. But anyway, I'll shut up, and you can click on the video if you want to hear me continue to talk like a psychopath.